In the 1960s, Norway was a quiet, modest country in northern Europe, known for fishing, shipping, and not much else. Venezuela, on the other hand, was the jewel of Latin America. It had the highest GDP per capita in the region, the largest oil reserves in the world, and was on track to become a global powerhouse. Fast forward to today, Norway is one of the richest, most stable democracies on earth. Venezuela is an economic ruin. Inflation in the millions, food shortages, and a collapsing healthcare system. Both had oil. One got rich. The other broke. How? It seems obvious, like if a country finds oil, it gets rich. But reality is messier. Economists call it the resource curse or the paradox of plenty. The idea is simple. Countries with large natural resource wealth often grow slower, experience more corruption, and are more prone to authoritarianism than countries without. Why? Three main reasons. 1. Over-reliance. Oil becomes everything. Other industries are neglected. When oil prices drop, the economy crashes. 2. Corruption. Easy money attracts greedy hands. Ruling elites often divert profits into private pockets. 3. Political conflict. Oil gives massive power to those who control it, which leads to authoritarianism, coups, or civil war. Countries like Nigeria, Iraq, Libya, and Angola are textbook examples. Venezuela discovered oil in the early 20th century and by the 1950s was one of the largest exporters in the world. The government didn't need to tax people. It just pumped oil. This meant no pressure to be accountable, no incentive to build strong institutions. In 1976, Venezuela nationalized its oil industry, creating PDVSA, the state oil company. For a while, the country prospered, but the economy became dangerously narrow. Almost 95% of export earnings came from oil. Then came Hugo Chavez, elected in 1998. Chavez used oil money to fund social programs and subsidies, reducing poverty in the short term, but he also centralized power, purged professionals from PDVSA, scared off private investment, set unsustainable price controls. After Chavez died in 2013, his successor Nicolas Maduro faced falling oil prices. The system collapsed. Hyperinflation hit 1,000,000%. GDP dropped by over 70%. Millions fled the country. The lesson: oil alone can't save you, especially if it replaces long-term planning. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Norway was discovering oil in the North Sea. But instead of celebrating with spending sprees, Norway hesitated. It studied the mistakes of others. In the 1970s and 80s, Norway set up transparent licensing for oil exploration, taxed oil companies heavily with rates above 75%, avoided political interference in its oil sector, maintained strong democratic institutions, and in 1990 it created the Government Pension Fund Global, a sovereign wealth fund. Every surplus dollar from oil goes into this fund. The money is invested globally in over 9,000 companies, real estate, and bonds. The key rule? The government can only spend a small fraction of it each year. Today, the fund is worth over 1.5 trillion US dollars, around $250,000 for every Norwegian citizen. But it's not just about saving. Norway invested in education, infrastructure, clean energy, focused on equality, not just growth, maintained high public trust and civic engagement. The result? A diversified economy, low corruption, and one of the highest living standards in the world. These cases show it's not the resource, and it's how you manage it.